If you're watching this video, there's a good chance something in your marriage isn't feeling right. Maybe you're lying awake at night wondering how you got here. Maybe the person you once couldn't wait to see has become someone you avoid. Maybe you're walking on eggshells in your own home. Or perhaps the silence between you both has grown louder than any argument ever was. You might be feeling confused, hurt, or even hopeless. You might be asking yourself, is this all there is? Is this what marriage is supposed to feel like? I want you to know something important right now. What you're feeling is real. Your pain matters, your marriage matters, and most importantly, you are not alone. Thousands of couples across India are experiencing exactly what you're going through right now: the disconnection, the misunderstandings, the feeling that you're speaking different languages even though you're using the same words, the exhaustion of trying to make things better only to find yourselves back in the same painful patterns. But here's what else I want you to know: there is hope, there is a path forward, and that path begins with a single courageous step: being willing to seek help. Now, I know what might be running through your mind right now. You might be thinking, marriage counseling? That's for couples who are really struggling. We're not that bad. Or maybe, isn't therapy only necessary when there's been infidelity or abuse? Perhaps you're thinking, therapy is something you do right before divorce as a last resort. We're not there yet. Let me share something that might surprise you. These are some of the most common myths about marriage counseling, and they couldn't be further from the truth. Think of it this way: when do you visit a doctor? Only when you're in the emergency room fighting for your life? Of course not. You go for regular checkups. You go when you notice something feels off. You go preventively before small issues become serious problems. Your marriage deserves the same care and attention. In fact, research shows us something fascinating. Modern couples around the world are increasingly starting therapy before marriage or in the early years of marriage, not as a crisis intervention, but as an investment in their future. They're learning communication tools, understanding each other's emotional needs, and building a strong foundation before cracks even appear. These couples understand something powerful. Seeking help isn't a sign of weakness, it's a sign of wisdom. It's a sign that you value your relationship enough to nurture it, protect it, and help it thrive. So, what exactly is marriage counseling and how can it help you? Imagine you're learning to play a musical instrument. You might have natural talent, you might feel passion for music, but without proper training and guidance, you'll likely struggle. You might develop bad habits, you might get frustrated and want to give up. But with a skilled teacher, someone who understands the instrument, who can show you the techniques, who can hear what you can't hear yet, suddenly everything changes. The music starts to flow, the joy returns. You discover capabilities you didn't know you had. Marriage is remarkably similar. Most of us enter marriage with love, with good intentions, with hope, but very little actual training in how to build and sustain a healthy partnership. We've never been taught how to communicate effectively during conflict. We don't understand the psychology of emotional connection. We are unaware of the attachment patterns we bring from our childhood that might be sabotaging our adult relationships. We are trying to create a beautiful symphony without knowing how to read the music. This is where therapy becomes your guide, your teacher, your translator. Marriage counseling isn't about fixing what's broken in you or your partner. It's about learning skills you were never taught, understanding patterns you couldn't see on your own, and discovering new ways of relating that actually work. This brings me to the marriage fit and why we are different. Since 2017, we've done one thing and one thing only: work with couples. Not individual therapy, not family counseling, not corporate coaching, just couples, just marriages. Why? because we believe marriage deserves that level of focus, dedication, and expertise. Think about it. Would you go to a general physician for brain surgery? Or would you seek out a specialist who has dedicated their entire career to that one crucial area? At the Marriage Fit, we are marriage specialists. Over the past 8 years, we worked with more than 14,000 couples across India. We've witnessed transformations in relationships that seemed beyond repair. We've helped couples rediscover love they thought was lost forever. We've guided partners through some of life's most challenging moments: infidelity, enmeshment with in laws, emotional disconnection, high conflict patterns, and watched them emerge stronger, more connected, and deeply in love. Our success rate speaks for itself. 86% of couples who work with us experience significant positive change in their relationships. But what I'm most proud of isn't just the statistics, it's the stories behind them. Let me tell you what makes the Marriage Fit truly exceptional. We maintain one of the most rigorous hiring processes in the field of psychology in India. Out of every 100 psychologists who apply to work with us, we accept less than one. That's a less than 1% acceptance rate. But we don't stop there. Before any therapist at the Marriage Fit conducts their first session with a real couple, they undergo 6 months of intensive in house training. They study 1,000 actual Indian couple case studies. They learn the nuances of Indian family systems, the cultural context that shape our relationships, the specific challenges that couples in joint families face. They don't just learn Western therapy models, though we do use proven evidence based approaches like the Gottman method, emotionally focused therapy, and nonviolent communication. They learn how to adapt these tools for our culture, our values, our unique relationship dynamics. Why do we invest so much in training? Because you deserve the very best. Your marriage deserves therapists who truly understand the complexity of Indian relationships. The beautiful traditions, yes, but also the challenges of navigating multiple family expectations, generational differences, and cultural transitions. Our clients' experiences reflect this commitment to excellence. On platforms like Practo and Google, we've received hundreds of positive reviews. And this is despite the fact that only about 1 in 1,000 clients chooses to leave a review due to the deeply private nature of marriage counseling. When someone does choose to speak publicly about their experience, they are saying, "This was so powerful, so transformative, that I want others to know hope is possible." Now, let me walk you through how therapy actually works, how it creates real, lasting change in your marriage. We follow a three-stage journey that we call the HER approach: healing, empowerment, and reconnection. First, we focus on healing, finding peace in the chaos. Imagine you're trying to have a conversation with your partner, but there's a fire alarm blaring in the background. You can't hear each other. You can't think clearly. All you can do is react to the noise, the stress, the overwhelm. This is what emotional distress does to your relationship. When you're constantly anxious, hurt, or angry, when emotional outbursts are frequent, when you're living in a state of chronic stress, you can't access the parts of your brain that allow for understanding, empathy, and problem solving. In the healing phase, we help you turn down that alarm. We teach you regulation techniques that bring immediate relief. Many of our clients tell us that even after just a few sessions, they notice they're sleeping better, feeling calmer, and experiencing moments of actual joy again, sometimes for the first time in months or years. We also address the immediate pain points that brought you to therapy, whether it's managing high conflict situations, processing emotional wounds from betrayal, understanding the impact of family enmeshment, or navigating the aftermath of infidelity. We create a safe space where healing can begin. Second, we move to empowerment, building your relationship toolkit. Here's a powerful truth. Most relationship problems aren't caused by people not loving each other. They are because people don't know how to love each other effectively. Think of a carpenter trying to build a house with only a hammer. No matter how skilled they are, no matter how much they want to create something beautiful, they are limited by their tools. In the empowerment phase, we give you the complete toolkit. We teach you communication strategies based on nonviolent communication, how to express your needs without attacking, how to listen without defending, how to create understanding even in the midst of disagreement. We help you understand the research backed principles from the Gottman method, the four patterns that predict divorce, and more importantly, the specific behaviors that predict lasting love and satisfaction. We show you how to navigate the specific challenges you're facing. If there's emotional infidelity, we work on rebuilding trust through structured, proven approaches. If there's enmeshment with extended family, we help you establish healthy boundaries while honoring cultural values. If there's disconnection, we teach you the small daily actions that rebuild intimacy. This isn't just abstract theory, these are practical, concrete tools you can use immediately. It's like learning a new language, the language of love, respect, and true partnership. Finally, we guide you to reconnection, building a bond that lasts. This is where the magic happens. This is where couples often tell us, I never knew marriage could feel like this. In the reconnection phase, we use approaches like emotionally focused therapy and imago relationship therapy to help you connect on the deepest levels. We help you understand not just what your partner is saying, but the emotional needs and fears beneath their words. We help you see each other with new eyes, to understand the childhood experiences that shaped how each of you gives and receives love. We rebuild trust not through forced forgiveness, but through consistent, authentic connection. The goal? A sustainable, happy marriage. One where relapses don't happen because you fundamentally changed how you relate to each other. One where you're empowered to handle life's inevitable conflicts and challenges, not perfectly, but together as a team. We're creating a bond that doesn't just survive, it grows, it deepens, it becomes richer with time. Let me share something that might surprise you. The state of your marriage affects almost every aspect of your life. Research in psychology and medicine consistently shows that people in happy marriages live longer, healthier lives. They have stronger immune systems. They recover faster from illness. They experience lower rates of depression and anxiety. And if you have children, the impact multiplies exponentially. Children who grow up witnessing a healthy, loving relationship between their parents develop better emotional regulation. They have higher self esteem. They form healthier relationships in their own lives. They carry forward a blueprint of what love actually looks like. Your investment in your marriage isn't just about the two of you, it's about the legacy you're creating for your children and their children after them. Think of it this way. If I told you there was a single action you could take that would improve your physical health, mental well being, life satisfaction, and your children's future happiness, wouldn't that be worth exploring? That action is investing in your marriage. Let me share a story that illustrates the power of this journey. I worked with a couple, let's call them Priya and Arjun, who came to us after 12 years of marriage. On the surface, everything looked fine. Good jobs, beautiful home, two children. But inside, they were strangers living under the same roof. Priya described feeling invisible. Arjun was so enmeshed with his mother's expectations that Priya felt like a guest in her own marriage. Every decision, from what to cook to how to raise the children, was influenced by what his mother thought, not what they decided together. Arjun, meanwhile, felt trapped between two women he loved, constantly criticized no matter what he did, exhausted from trying to keep everyone happy. When they first came to therapy, Priya couldn't speak for 5 minutes without crying. Arjun sat with his arms crossed, defensive, certain this was just another platform for complaints. Through the healing phase, we helped Priya find her voice again and Arjun understand the emotional impact of enmeshment, not as an attack on his mother, but as a pattern that was hurting everyone, including him. In the empowerment phase, we taught them how to communicate their needs clearly, how to set boundaries lovingly, and how to make decisions as a couple first. By the reconnection phase, something beautiful happened. Arjun began to see Priya not as someone demanding he choose between her and his mother, but as his life partner who wanted to build a life with him. Priya began to see Arjun not as weak or uncaring, but as someone who genuinely hadn't known how to navigate these complex family dynamics. 6 months into therapy, Arjun told me, I feel like I finally understand what it means to be a husband. And for the first time in years, I actually want to come home. Priya said, I have myself back and I have a partner I can trust. This is what's possible. This is the transformation that happens when you bring the science of psychology, the wisdom of proven therapeutic approaches, and the courage to look honestly at your relationship. Now, you might still be thinking, that's a beautiful story, but will it work for us? Our situation is different. Our problems are too complex. I understand that doubt. Change feels risky, especially when you've been hurt. Trusting the process requires a leap of faith. But here's what I want you to understand. This isn't just hope and good intentions. This is science. These are proven, evidence based approaches that have been tested and refined with millions of couples around the world. The Gottman method is based on 40 years of research with over 3,000 couples. Emotionally focused therapy has been validated in numerous clinical studies showing 70 to 75% recovery rates for distressed couples. This isn't magic, it's methodology. It's understanding the psychology of human connection and applying that understanding systematically to help relationships thrive. Yes, your situation is unique. Every couple is. But the underlying dynamics, the communication patterns, the attachment styles, the conflict cycles, these follow predictable patterns that we understand deeply and know how to address. You don't have to believe it will work. You just have to be open to the possibility. You just have to be willing to try. So here's what I want to say to you today. What you're experiencing right now, the pain, the confusion, the distance, doesn't have to be yours forever. There is another way, a way of talking to each other that doesn't end in hurt and frustration, a way of loving each other that doesn't feel like sacrifice, a way of building a marriage that doesn't require you to lose yourself. But it requires a choice. It requires being willing to say, what we are doing now isn't working. We need help. We need to learn a new way. That's not a weakness. That's wisdom. That's courage. That's love. Real, mature, committed love that says our relationship is worth fighting for. This is the best investment you can make. Not in a house, not in your career, not in anything material. The best investment you can make is in love, in happiness, in the foundation of your family. Because when your marriage thrives, everything else in your life improves. Your health, your parenting, your work, your peace of mind, your joy. Science confirms it. Thousands of couples have lived it. And it's waiting for you too. I'm inviting you to join this incredible journey. A journey of knowing yourself more deeply than you ever have. A journey of changing patterns that have held you back for years. A journey of rediscovering, or perhaps discovering for the first time, a love and intimacy you never thought possible. It all begins with one small step: being open to speak about what's really happening. Being willing to reflect honestly on what isn't working. Being ready to accept that you need a new way of talking, a new way of loving, a new way of building your marriage together. That's all that's required right now. Just openness, just willingness. At the Marriage Fit, we understand that choosing therapy is a big decision. You probably have questions. How does therapy actually work? What does a typical session look like? How much does it cost? What's the time commitment? These are important questions, and we want to answer them fully before you make any commitment. That's why we've created a detailed video that explains everything about how therapy works at the Marriage Fit: our process, our approach, the practical logistics, and the investment involved. I encourage you to watch that video next. It will give you complete clarity about what this journey would look like for you. No pressure, no sales tactics, just honest, comprehensive information to help you make the best decision for your marriage. Your marriage brought you together for a reason. The love that created your relationship is still there. Sometimes it just needs to be rediscovered, nurtured, and given the right conditions to flourish again. You don't have to navigate this alone. You don't have to keep trying the same approaches that haven't worked. You don't have to resign yourself to a marriage that feels more like coexistence than true partnership. There is another way, and we would be honored to walk this path with you. Welcome to the Marriage Fit. Welcome to the beginning of transformation. Your journey starts. Ready to learn more about how therapy works at the Marriage Fit? Watch our detailed information video to understand our process, approach, and investment. Click the link below to take the next step toward the marriage you deserve. So you've decided to explore therapy for your marriage. That's a courageous first step. And you probably have many practical questions running through your mind. How does therapy actually work at the Marriage Fit? What can you expect in your sessions? How long will it take? What will it cost? And most importantly, how do you know if this is right for you? In the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through everything you need to know to make an informed decision about starting your therapy journey with us. Let's dive in. First, let's talk about how therapy begins at the Marriage Fit. Here's something important. One partner can start therapy even if the other isn't ready yet. You don't have to wait for your spouse to be on board. Sometimes change begins with one person taking the first step, and that momentum naturally brings the partner along later. However, if both partners are joining therapy together, which is what we recommend, here's what happens. Both of you will speak to the therapist individually first. Why? Because we need to understand each partner's unique perspective, pain points, and experience of the marriage. This individual time allows each person to speak freely without fear of their partner's reaction, without having to defend themselves, and without filtering what they share. The goal of these first sessions is to understand the complete picture, each partner as an individual, the dynamics between you, the history of your relationship, and the specific pain points that brought you to therapy. Now, here's something crucial about our therapists. They stay completely non-judgmental and dig deeper than surface narratives. We understand that sometimes one partner might try to create a favorable first impression, or might be skilled at presenting themselves well, or might even manipulate the story to make themselves look better. Our expert couple therapists are trained to see beyond this. We don't just believe the narrative presented to us. We observe patterns, ask probing questions, look at behavioral dynamics, and assess the relationship system as a whole. So rest assured, if your partner speaks well, or lies, or is good at manipulation, it will not work here. Our therapists are trained to understand the truth of what's happening in your marriage, not just what someone wants us to believe. Once the first phase is complete, where the therapist has gained a solid understanding of you, your partner, and your relationship dynamics, something very important happens. This initial assessment phase might take 1 to 2 sessions, or sometimes more, depending on the complexity of your situation and the length of your marriage. There's no rush. We take the time needed to truly understand. After this phase, your therapist will create and share with you a session course blueprint. Think of this as your personalized therapy roadmap. This blueprint includes short-term goals for each partner individually, long-term goals for each partner, goals for your marriage or relationship as a whole, clear outcomes you can expect from achieving each goal. This is your personalized therapy plan, tailored specifically to your unique situation and needs. Once you review this blueprint and understand the outcomes, you have complete freedom to continue with the therapy as planned, or if you want to change the goals based on your priorities, the therapist will discuss this with you and modify the plan accordingly. You're in control of your therapy journey. We are here to guide you, but the destination is yours to define. Now, let's talk about what therapy sessions actually look like. Therapy sessions will be both individual and couple sessions, depending on the goal and purpose. Some work is best done individually by processing personal emotions, working on individual growth, or addressing personal history. Other work requires both partners present and involves practicing communication, resolving conflicts, and rebuilding connection. Typically, sessions can be scheduled weekly. It can be either individual or couple sessions. This regular rhythm creates consistency and momentum in your progress. However, we also understand that life happens. Sessions can be scheduled for conflict resolution during crisis moments or for any emergency life situations too. If you're going through something urgent, we are here for you. You can also request more or fewer sessions depending on your life circumstances. We are flexible and responsive to your needs. It's important to note that taking a longer break between sessions, especially during the initial phase, can seriously hinder your progress. Think of it like going to the gym. Consistency is essential at the beginning to build a solid foundation. Once you have gained strength, you can maintain it with less frequent workouts. However, in the early stages, regular sessions are critical. This is one of the most common questions we receive. How long will therapy take? The honest answer is, it completely depends on your marriage, both partners, and the therapist's approach. Let me break this down. For quick decisions and clarity, 3 to 4 sessions are sometimes enough. If you're seeking help making a specific decision or need clarity on a particular issue, therapy can be brief and focused. For deep emotional or relationship transformation, it can take 4 to 6 months or more. Why? Real therapy works on the fundamentals of how a person thinks, feels, and acts. Changing these deep patterns takes time, and that's exactly why it's sustainable. Here's something important we've learned over the years. We have stopped using quick fix solution approaches. Our data shows that quick fixes are not sustainable after a few years. Real change requires going to the root, and roots grow slowly, but they hold strong. We are not interested in temporary band-aid solutions. We are committed to creating lasting transformation in your marriage. Let's talk openly about cost, because this is an important factor in your decision. Considering that we provide expert couple therapy with highly trained specialists, our costs are aligned with market standards and in many cases even less. Here's the structure. Session charges are per hour. Individual sessions are typically 60 minutes and cost between 2,000 to 3,000 rupees. Couple sessions are typically 90 minutes and cost between 3,000 to 4,500 rupees. Now you might notice the range in pricing. Let me explain what determines this difference. The cost is based on the therapist's success rate and the number of couple clients they've successfully helped resolve their issues. It's not based on age, degrees, or certificates. It's based on proven results and expertise. This means you're paying for demonstrated effectiveness, not just credentials. You're investing in someone who has a track record of creating real transformation in marriages like yours. You have complete flexibility in how you attend therapy. Both offline and online sessions are equally effective, and the cost is the same for both modes. The Marriage Fit is based in Bangalore for offline sessions. If you're in Bangalore and prefer face-to-face meetings, we welcome you to our center. Online sessions are available for everyone staying outside Bangalore or outside India. Distance is not a barrier to getting the help you need. Our online sessions are conducted with the same professionalism, privacy, and effectiveness as in-person sessions. Let me be absolutely clear about this. No session content is recorded. and every personal detail you share is highly confidential. Your privacy is sacred to us. What you share in therapy stays in therapy. This confidentiality is not just our policy, it's our ethical commitment and legal obligation. You can speak freely, knowing that your vulnerability is protected and respected. At the Marriage Fit, we don't just talk about quality, we've built systems to ensure it. Here are the specific measures we've implemented. Each therapist at the Marriage Fit does not take more than 4 hours of sessions in a day on average. Why? Because quality therapy requires mental freshness, emotional presence, and deep focus. We don't overload our therapists because we don't want to compromise the quality of your sessions. We don't take more than 8 couples per month on average per therapist. This ensures that each couple receives adequate attention, that therapists can prepare thoroughly for sessions, and that the work doesn't become rushed or superficial. Each therapist spends significant time preparing for your sessions and takes sufficient breaks between sessions. Your session isn't just the hour you spend with the therapist. It's also the preparation time before and the reflection time after. Regular case discussions and a collaborative approach helps each therapist do their best for clients. Our therapists don't work in isolation. They consult with each other, share insights, and bring collective wisdom to your unique situation. These aren't just nice ideas. These are systems we've put in place to ensure that every session you attend is as effective as possible. Let me share something important about our philosophy. Our primary aim is to save marriages, and we are proud to do that. We believe in the power of commitment, in the possibility of transformation, and in the value of working through difficulties together. At the same time, we understand with deep respect and care that all marriages cannot be saved, and some should not be saved. There are situations where staying in a marriage would cause more harm than leaving. There are situations where separation is the healthiest path forward for both partners. At the Marriage Fit, we do evaluate the marriage and will recommend honestly if we believe someone should stay or not. We won't keep you in therapy just to continue billing sessions. We'll tell you the truth as we see it. However, here's the crucial part. Once you make the decision, we support you to achieve that without forcing or influencing you to follow what we suggest. The decision is always yours. Our role is to provide clarity, tools, and honest assessment. Your role is to decide what's right for your life. And whatever you decide, we're here to support you through it. The Marriage Fit has assembled a team of couple therapists who are not just trained in general couple therapy but have specialized expertise in specific situations and approaches. Infidelity recovery therapy, conflict resolution therapy, enmeshment and boundary issues, premarital counseling, emotional intimacy building, solution-focused couple therapy, emotionally focused couple therapy, EFT, CBT-based couple therapy, and more. This means when you work with us, we can match you with a therapist whose specific expertise aligns with your primary challenges. You're not getting general help, you're getting specialized support for your specific situation. Choosing a therapist is a deeply personal decision, and it's okay if you're not sure yet. You might be wondering, will this really help me? Will the therapist understand my situation? Is it worth committing to? We understand that hesitation. That's why we've made it easy for you to take the first step. Instead of asking you to commit upfront, we offer your first consultation at just 499 rupees. This consultation is designed to help you decide, with no pressure and no obligation to continue. During your first consultation, you can share your situation openly. See if the therapist truly understands your pain. Understand how therapy would approach your concerns. And most importantly, feel whether this is someone you can trust. There's no long-term commitment here, just a safe, low-risk way to try therapy. If you've been unsure, this is your space to explore. Gently, affordably, and at your own pace. So if you're ready to take the next step, or if you want to schedule that free consultation, here's what you do. Connect with our team through WhatsApp using the number shown below. Our team member will help you find the right therapist for you based on your needs, requirements, and preferences. Schedule your consultation if you'd like one. Answer any remaining questions you have. Book your first session when you're ready. We make this process as simple and supportive as possible because we know reaching out is already a big step. You now have all the information you need to make an informed decision about therapy at the Marriage Fit. You understand how therapy works, what it costs, how long it might take, the quality measures we have in place, and the expertise our team brings to your marriage. The question now is, are you ready to take this step? Are you ready to invest in your marriage, in your happiness, in your future? We are here when you are. Our team is ready to support you, our therapists are prepared to guide you, and a path toward transformation is waiting. Your marriage deserves this investment. You deserve this support. Reach out to us on WhatsApp today. Let's start this journey together. For more support and help, please reach us on WhatsApp at the number shown below. Welcome to the Marriage Fit. Welcome to the beginning of change. Ready to start your therapy journey? Contact us on WhatsApp. Book your consultation or schedule your first session.